Hey, Katrina here from Scrappy Horses. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm working on a card featuring this little unicorn from Oddball Art Company. So come and join us for this challenge. The challenge is winter. And I thought, what better than a cute little unicorn with stars and bubbles, but I'm going to pretend like they're ornaments floating around his head. Kind of magical, don't you think? So let's take a look at how I set this up in Design Space. All right, so I started off with my card base, and that's going to be this blue piece right here. It's 8.5 inches wide by 5.5 inches tall. I fold it in half lengthwise, and it becomes 4.25 by 5.5 inches. And you know what? I don't cut that on my Cricut. I just go ahead and cut that on my paper slicer because it saves paper that way. All right, our next little layering piece on this card is this piece right here. Again, I'm just going to cut that on my paper slicer, and it's just a piece that just layers right behind this main focal image piece. All right, so we can sort of move that one off to the side. We're just going to move all these over here. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and move this up here. So if you'd like, you can check it out, cutitupchallenges.blogspot.com. And again, the theme is winter, and you have to include a die cut. Now, I got this little guy and I designed my card and thought, oh, that's going to be cute. And then I thought, wait, I don't have any die cuts. So that's where these extra pieces are going to come in. So I knew that I wanted a 4.25 by 5.5 inch card base. So I went with a piece of white cardstock, about 3.83 by 5.08. And I went ahead and just put in the words magical. All right. So I just picked that up here in text. All right. So let's just take a look at that for just a second. I'm going to grab those two pieces and we'll just pull them over here and we'll pull these out of the way. So I have this piece of paper, and then all I needed to do was pull in the letters. Now, the way I got them this way is I hit text, I typed M, and then hit return, A, return, G, return, I, return, C, return, A, return, L, and that's all I needed to do. Now, I can pick this up and move it now, make it smaller. All right, my font is Cricut Bop ICG. So all I need to do is come up here and look for, I can clear this out just by saying delete, search, and then up comes all my different fonts that I have available. So I'm going to click Cricut Bop. And there it is. So now I'm going to size it so that it fits here. All right. And it looks like I used all capitals on my card, but here I didn't. So then all I have to do is simply come in, grab the two together, select the two, come over here to my right-hand column and hit flatten. Now this page is ready to print. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. And we'll leave that here in the front so you can see that if you want to refer back to that. And we'll just move this away for a moment. All right, so now we're going to start talking about how we got all of this. So I knew I wanted the little unicorn, so I brought him in and sized him appropriately. And all I had to do was stick them on top of the rectangle. And I did the same thing with this little piece. I brought it in, stuck it on, okay? And then I hit flatten, and I could flatten all of this then. But now you're wondering, how did I get this snowy paper? Okay, so I chose a shape, picked up a rectangle, decided what size I wanted my rectangle. So I'm going to come unlock my square so I can change these dimensions. I'm just going to copy what I have here. All right, that's pretty close. And now I'm going to come up here and I'm going to say that I want print then cut. Then I'm going to click this little square. I'm doing this on my mouse. I'm left clicking. Left click here. I want pattern. And I have several patterns loaded in here. So there it is. Boom. Click it and it will come up. Now you're going to see that the sheet of paper comes up and it's really not looking very pretty. Well, that's because I'm getting, here's a page and here's a page. So easy. I just come in and edit it. So I just push it up to whatever size I like. And then I can move it up and down. And I can move it right and left. So I'll just sort of move it here. And that's looking pretty good right there. I kind of like it. So all I do is click the X. So you want to look right here. I'm going to click this X right here and see how it changed it. All right. So let's just move. Whoops, I don't want to move that. I just want to move all of this over here for a minute. All I had to do again was bring in this piece. I'm going to right click, bring it to the front and stick it in here. And you'll see that I sort of have this sticking off the edge. I think that's kind of fun to do. Then I'm going to right click, bring to the front, bring him in. I'm going to stick him so he hit just the bottom of his little feet there, just kind of at the edge there. I'm going to take it all, select, come over here to this right panel over here where it says flatten. Boom. Now that's all flattened. Now I'm going to print this separately. The reason is because remember I told you for the Cut It Up challenge we need die cuts. Well, guess what? These are going to become our die cuts that we are going to add to the card. We're going to sprinkle a little bit of glitter and some gel pen on these and decorate up our card with these little pieces. Not all of them, just some of them. So let's put our card together quickly, okay? Here's our card base. Here's this little piece that goes on top. This little piece will go right here on top of this. And right underneath that, we need to pull this up here so that it is directly behind that. We can do that just by pulling him in this way. Whoops, got to pull him up one more, it looks like. There we go. I just slide this in back there, and there we are. Let's go ahead and let's get rid of all of this for a moment. We're going to group that. That's all in one big group, and I can close my eye and it will go away. I'm going to have this piece go away, and I'm going to have this other blue piece go away. This is all we have to print now. So I go to Make It, and I click. And And there it is. Now I'm going to give you a little hint here. See how when we print this, the only amount of paper we are going to have left is this long strip right here. I personally would rather have a chunk of paper down here. So I can take this and I can move these things around a little bit. So I can take this and move it this way and move it up. And I can move this up this way. And that leaves me about 3 inches at the bottom, so that if I have something else I want to print, I certainly can. Now, what I could also do if I really wanted to save paper is I could say cancel. I could take this piece and I could take this piece. I can hide this one for just a minute. All right, hide it. Take these over, hit make it. Okay, now these two will fit on the same piece of paper, and look at that huge amount of paper I have left that I can use again. It is it's 5 inches by 8.5. All right, so then I can come back and I can pick up this page. All right, and I can print just that. All right, now if you look at this, I might be able to get this just on 5 by 8.5, which means I could possibly get all of this on one sheet of paper. Let me tell you one more thing I do to save a little bit of money. I would print this piece on my Express It cardstock. I would print this piece on Express It cardstock because I'm going to color those with my Copics. This piece I am not going to color on my Copics, with my Copics. Therefore, I might do this on a little bit cheaper cardstock. And so I always save what's left over on both my Express It and my less expensive cardstock that I don't use to color. And then I just divide them up, and like I'll print a lot of projects at one time, and I'll get all of the pages that I color into as few pages as I can, and I'll do the same then with the ones that I don't color. I hope that makes sense. So a couple of money saving tips for you there. All right, so I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and print these up, and I'm going to color them up with my Copic markers and gel pens, and then I'm going to meet you at the craft table, and you're going to see what else we're going to do with this. Here we are at the craft table, and I have my Elmer spray-on glue. This is the piece that we print and cut. The other piece we print and cut, and our card base. I'm also going to be using some silver sparkle. I'm going to use some white glitter sparkle too. And here are the little die cuts that I've gone over with gel pen. We're not going to be using all of these, but we're going to use some. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray these with the craft glue. I'm not going to actually spray the camera rolling. I don't think that would be a good idea to get that all over my lens. So now I'm back at the table. I have sprayed them. What I did is I kept my ice cream lid. I just slipped it into a box and just sprayed into that box. You want to do this in a well-ventilated area. All right, so now I've sprinkled my silver sparkle on, and now I'm going to put some of this white sparkle just on the actual ornament parts of these. I'm going to place them all back in my ice cream lid. I do this because I'm notorious for losing little pieces. So I just put them in an ice cream lid. Now, I did throw away the ice cream lid that is full of spray glue. All right, I am adhering with my ATG gun all of my pieces, my layers. And I just simply do that by lining it up, eyeballing it, and then placing the heel of my hand to hold it down, and then curve it up with my other hand and just go ahead and tape it down. So there, I place it with the heel of my hand and just layer that in. So not a big deal. I don't usually measure or anything like that. I just eyeball it. All right, I squirt some of that glue up to the top and I put that little itty bitty star in place. And then I decided what I would do is I would just take a little bit of glue and just drop it onto those big blue stars. And that's going to help that stick when I put those little dies in. Because I'm going to be putting foam tape on those dies. And this is pretty thick foam tape. It's also really old foam tape. So yeah, it's lost a little bit of its stick power. So as you can see, I'm cutting it just to kind of fit those little star shapes. Now, I have a little tip for you coming up. So hang in there because we're going to talk about how to clean those scissors. Although these scissors are made to cut sticky things, you know, once you've cut so many sticky things, they tend to not want to slice real well anymore. So don't throw those scissors away. They're fine. I'm going to show you how to sort of remedy that here in just a little bit. First, let's get these little die cuts, these little three-dimensional die cuts, stuck onto our project. So here I go. I'm going to put a little bit of glue down on the star, and you're going to see that when I do this, I get some glue on the actual card. I'm not going to try to fix that right now. I just pointed out where that is. I'm not going to try to fix that, but I'm going to show you later in the video how to fix this. All right, so just leave it alone. Don't touch it. Just leave it be, and it will be fine. So let's go ahead and try to forget we did that. And remove the tape and remove the liner from the tape and just stick on these little die cuts. All right, once we've done that, we can stick them onto the card, and now we have our die cuts for the challenge. So we have a wintry, glittery, magical card. So now let's talk about those scissors. If we just take some rubbing alcohol or some isopropyl, we can just put it on some cotton and just rub over those scissors. It's going to clean them up and they're going to be good as new. So I'm going to go ahead and show you by cutting through some paper just to show you how nicely they cut. Look at that. Just beautiful. And here we go. Let's cut through some sticky tape here. And you'll see that it's cutting much better than it did. But I'm going to go ahead and clean them off one more time since we just did that. So don't throw those scissors away. They're fine. They just need a little bit of cleaning and they'll be great. All right, now that glue has had time to dry on my card. All I have to do is just rub it. And I'm going to do a little close-up here so you can really see that. See that little glob of glue? Well, there it is. Now it comes right off. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I hope you got some tips and tricks out of this video. Good luck on all those holiday projects, and I'll catch up with you in the next video. Bye.